Om Shri Ganeshaya Namaha. Om Shri Saraswatyai Namaha. Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Sada Shiva Samarambham Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam. Shrute Smriti Purananam Alayam Karunalayam Namami Bhagavat Pada Shankaram Lokashankaram Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badharayanam Sutrabhashya Kritav Vande Bhagavantav Punah Punah. Samasta Jana Kalyane Niratam Karunamayam Namami Chinmayam Devam Sadgurum Brahmavidvaram Sadgurum Brahmavidvaram. Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavaditamastu Mavad Vishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Sarva Vedanta Siddhanta Gocharam Tamagocharam Govindam Paramanandam Sadgurum Pranatosmyaham Sadgurum Pranatosmyaham. Hi. We are in the discussion of Anatma, and in that we had seen first the Sthula Sharira, the gross body. We saw that the gross body is a residence for the Atma. And through the gross body, we contact the external world. All transactions, be it receiving the stimuli from the external world or responding to them, a person does through the gross body. That discussion was concluded in the 91st verse. And then we have started the discussion on the Sukshma Sharira, the subtle body discussion. Buddhiyani Shravanam Swak Akshi Granam cha Jihva Vishaya Avabodhanat Vakpanipada Gudamapi Upastaha Karmendriyani Pravanena Karmasu. The 5 external organs of knowledge, Jnanendriya, and then 5 organs of action, Karmendriya, they were listed. Then, Nigadyate Antakaranam Manodihi Antakritis Chittamiti Swavrittibihi Manastu Sankalpa vikalpanadibihi buddhihi padarthadya vasaya dharmatah. Antakaranam, the inner instruments. The Jnanendriya and Karmendriya are Bahya Karana. The Antakarana, the inner instrument, the functions of the mind and intellect was first described. The deliberating thoughts are called the manas, mind. The deterministic thoughts are called buddhi, the intellect. The other two functions of the Antakarana, atrabhimanat ahamiti ahankritihi, swartanu sandhana gunena chittam. The ahankara and memory was also described. So these four are not separate instruments. Okay? The four functions are classified that way. So it's a little bit different from the Jnanendriyas and Karmendriyas. Those are separate organs. This is one organ, manas, antakaranam. And in that, vrittis are there. The thought modifications are there. Depending upon the nature of the thought modification, we call it mana, buddhi, chitta, ahankara. The mind, intellect, ego, and memory. And after that, the next set, pranapana, vyanodana, samanaha, bhavatyasau, pranaha, swayameva, vritti vedat, vikritti vedat, suvarna, saliladivat. Pranas, the five pranas, again based on functions. So these 19 organs, 5 jnanendriyas, 5 karmendriyas, 5 pranas, and 4 antakarana. Together, 19. They make up the subtle body. The same 19 organs, vagadi pancha, shravanadi pancha, pranadi pancha, ani pancha, buddhyadi avidyapicha, kama karmani puryashtakam sukshmanas shariram ahu. Shankaracharya, this is a unique description, regrouped them into Puri Ashtakam, a group of 8 cities. That together, he calls it Sukshma Sharira. So we have seen up to this so far, till verse 96. And today we continue with verse 97. Let us read. Idam shariram shrunu sukshma samhitam. Idam shariram shrunu sukshma samhitam. Lingam tvapanchi krita bhuta sambhavam. Lingam tvapanchi krita bhuta sambhavam. Savasanam karma palanubhavakam. Savasanam karma palanubhavakam. Swajnanato nadirupadhiratmanah. Swajnanato nadirupadhiratmanah. Idam shariram shrunu sukshma samhitam. Lingam tvapanchi krita bhuta sambhavam. Savasanam karma palanubhavakam. Swajnanato nadirupadhiratmanah. So Bhagavan Shankaracharya says, Shrunu, listen. So he wants to make sure that the student is attentive. So he says, listen up. As we say now, idam sukshma samhitam shariram lingam. This sukshma sharira is also known lingatu. It is also called linga. It It is called Sukshma Sharira because it is invisible, contrasted with Sthula Sharira, which you can see through the sense organs. We do not see the mind, the intellect, ego, or memory. You have some idea of what's going on in your mind, but I don't have a clue. Similarly, you all don't have a clue as to what is going on in my mind. Of course, in the class, we know a little bit. We have a subject that we are discussing, what I'm talking about in general. So, it has another name also. It's called Linga Shari. The word Linga means indicator, a clue. A clue is called Ling. Suppose there is a footprint of some animal. Then from that we say an elephant has walked past here, or a horse or a cow, depending upon the footprint, which is an indicator. That kind of indicator is called Ling. The smoke that you see indicates the existence of fire. The fire is not seen. But from that, you can infer, from the smoke, you can infer that fire. So the indicator, any sign, any mark, any clue, any indicator is called linga. Lingyate jnayate anena iti lingam. That by which something is made known is called linga. The Sukshma Sharira is called linga because Sukshma Sharira is an indicator to the presence of consciousness principle. While the Sukshma Sharira itself is inert, Sukshma Sharira, just like the Sthula Sharira, is also inert. It's made of the same elements. And so it is Jada only, but unlike this, it has the ability to manifest consciousness. Sthula Sharira cannot. That is why in a dead body, the Sthula Sharira is very much there, but it is not capable of manifesting consciousness. If after some time the dead body starts manifesting consciousness, you all will start running away from there. So something is wrong. Okay, unless it's not a dead body anymore. Yes, Sukshma Sharira is also matter, but it is a finer matter. Little bit different. It is capable of reflecting or manifesting consciousness. Give you a simple example. You have glass, mirror, etc. They're all made up of, the raw material is sand. The base element is silicon. Sand also is made of the same silicon or silicon dioxide, whatever, what have you. But in sand, you cannot see reflection. Whereas glass, mirror, etc., they are capable of reflecting. So even though they are all the same, differences are there. Similarly, Sthula Sharira, made of matter only, but it's gross matter. Whereas Sukshma Sharira is made of subtle matter. And thereby it's able to reflect consciousness. And the reflection indicates the original. Any reflection, you see a reflection, from that you get an indication of what the original is. Without the original, the reflection cannot be there. When you see your face in the mirror, the reflection of your face is in the mirror, you're able to recognize your face. And if something is wrong, you can put your tilak, bindi and all that, looking in the mirror so that it's the right place, it's not off center and all that you can do. Original. And the mirror becomes a linga. And from the reflection, I infer the origin. How will you know that there is a tattvam called Atma? If the mind, which is made of matter, is conscious, it must be because of another entity's blessing. To recognize Atma, the consciousness, you go to Sukshma Sharira, which thus becomes an indicator of Atma. So we call Sukshma Sharira Linga Sharira. And the Sukshma Sharira, the subtle body, is Apanchikrita Bhuta Sambhavam. Apanchikrita means it is subtle. It has not gone through the grossification process. Panchikrita, elsewhere we have seen, is the grossification from the subtle elements to gross elements. The gross body is made up of that. But the subtle body is made of subtle elements which has not undergone that panchikarana, panchikrita. Thus, the mind or Sukshma Sharira is a subtle material born out of the 5 subtle elements. That's one thing. Then, Sa Vasanam, full of vasanas, registered experiences. Not only gross things are registered, even subtle emotions get registered and get remembered later on. In fact, when you remember a person's words, from that you can remember the anger also. And your reaction also it triggers. You remember the death of some near and dear one. Remember not only the death, the event, but the sorrow also becomes so real. Emotions also become so real. It is capable of producing solid tears now after such a long time. The event is gone. I am only projecting the event now. And even the recollection is capable of making me go through some emotions. So, sa vasanam. Sa means full of, saturated with vasanas. Then, karma pala anubhavakam. And it causes the experiences of the karma pala. The Sukshma Sharira is the bhokta, the experiencer. It's put in a roundabout way here. The Sukshma Sharira makes me a bhokta also. What we saw earlier, it is akarta also. Now it is a bhokta also, because of which alone karma palams are experienced. What's the proof? During sleep, Sukshma Sharira is resolved. Mind is not functioning. So in deep sleep, I do not have any happy or unhappy experiences. You are fast asleep and your dearest friend or your closest relative comes, stands right next to you. You're still sleeping. No reaction from you. A cobra may be running all over your body and you're fast asleep. You're not afraid of that cobra. I am asleep, but I do not even recollect or react to that experience. Why? Even though the physical body is there, the Sukshma Sharira is not absent. But it is resolved, non-functioning. Therefore, Sukha Dukkha Anubhava is because of the Sukshma Sharira only. Only when Sukshma Sharira is functioning fully, you will have the experiences of Sukha and Dukkha. So it is called Karma Phala Anubhavakam. It causes the experiences of Karma Phala. The Karma Phala is in the form of experiences of Sukha and Dukkha. We talked about this yesterday. Karma Phala is always experienced as Sukha and Dukkha. So here Karma Phala means Sukha Dukkha. It is experienced through what? Through the word, of course, is understood. I know I function through the Sthula Sharira, this physical body, from date of birth to death. The body was not there before my birth or will not be there after death. This physical body is only available for me to function for a few decades. Shankaracharya says here, the Sukshma Sharira, on the other hand, is Anadi Atmanaha Upadi. It is a beginningless medium for me. Me, the Atma. That means, in the Purva Janma also, in my previous birth, I had this subtle body, the same subtle body. I've used it. What I have changed is a gross body, physical body. The proof for that, of course, is in the Shastra. Shastra talks about it. But we have some other supportive proof also. There are anecdotal evidences of people recollecting their previous births that is there. Then, another strong proof is a prodigy. Any prodigy in any field is the proof of Sukshma Sharira. A musical prodigy, his own younger brother or younger sister, has no sense of music. Okay. The older brother must be carrying that from previous janma. Therefore, the mind, the subtle body, is continuous. When did it start? When did it acquire the mind? It is anadi, beginningless. Beginningless. Even during pralaya kala, the jiva continues to have the mind. Of course, in sushupti, current experience, everyday experience, our own experience, deep sleep. The mind is there, it's dormant. That's all. In sushupti, in pralaya, the mind is non-functional. It's not destroyed. Suppose during sleep, the mind is destroyed. After waking up, I would acquire a fresh mind. Maybe good in some cases, but I went to sleep as a doctor and I woke up, I don't know ABC. I have to go again, start with kindergarten, primary school, secondary school, go to college, 4 years undergraduate, 4 more years of graduate school in the School of Medicine, and then 4 more years of residency and all that. Oh my God, every day I have to do that. Thank God that does not happen. During sleep, mind is in a potential form, dormant. So all the skills, all the training I've had, they all come back. So here, Shankaracharya therefore says, Anadi, beginningless, is the Sukshma Sharira. The Upadhi is the medium of operation, interaction. It is Atmanaha Upadhi. So it is a medium of interaction for the self. It's not only a medium of interaction, it is also a medium of identification. What do you mean? It's a medium of identification. So instead of saying the mind is disturbed, I say I am disturbed. So when I say mind is disturbed, you've separated yourself from that mind. I have no problem. This mind of mine is having a problem. But we never say that. We always say, I am disturbed, I am happy, I am unhappy, I am mad. So the mind not only functions as a medium, but operationally, I identify with it. And that is because of swa ajnanatah, because of ignorance. The instrument becomes a subject. Mind is a karanam, antakaranam we say. It's a karanam, instrument. But now it has become the subject. When I say I am happy, I am mad, I am sad, all that. The mind has become I. Identification is there. So the mind is not only a medium of interaction, it's also a beginningless medium of identification. And that is due to self-ignorance, ignorance of the self. So we have seen the play of gross body is prominent in the waking state. Now it will be pointed out. Subtle body. Where is its play? Gross body is recognized by us very clearly. The waking state, of course, the sense organs. Of course, as I said, individually, your own thoughts, desires, you can see. That is all subtle body only. But if you want to know distinctly what a subtle body is, go dream. Don't do that now. Be awake, listen to the class. But then analyze your dream. Whatever experience is there in that dream, that is a play of subtle body. That's pointed out in the next verse. Let us see, verse 98. Swapno bhavatyasya vibhaktyavastha. Swapno bhavatyasya vibhaktyavastha. Swamatra sheshena vibhati yatra. Swamatra sheshena vibhati yatra. Swapne tu buddhe swayameva jagrata. Swapne tu buddhe swayameva jagrata. Kalina nana vidavasanabihi. Kalina nana vidavasanabihi. Swapno bhavatyasya vibhaktyavastha. Swamatra sheshena vibhati yatra. Swapne tu buddhe swayameva jagrata. Kalina nana vidavasanabihi. Now here, Shankaracharya talks about the state of experience in which the mind plays a prominent role. In Jagrata Avastha, the waking state, the mind is definitely there. It is operative. Mind has a role, but the physical body plays a more prominent role. That's why I am so much bothered about protecting my body. In fact, the whole life is for that only. Udara nimittam bahukruta vesha. You do so many things for this stomach to provide for the body. The whole Jagrata Avastha seem to be governed by the physical body. Therefore, in the Jagrata Avastha, waking state, prominence is for the physical body. The mind is functioning, not that it is not functioning, it is there, but physical body dominates. Where can you see the clear play of the subtle body? What is that avastha state in which the mind has a prominent role? He says, swapnaha bhavati. The dream is that state in which the mind plays a dominant role. Mind is also not fully active. It's not experiencing the external world. The mind is very clearly playing a great role in the dream, but it is not experiencing the external objects. It cannot gather any experiences. We talked about this elaborately in Mandukya. You are dreaming and you are thirsty. Okay. And the water you have next to you on your nightstand will not be able to quench that thirst. You need to drink the dream water only. That will quench your dream thirst. So these things are there. So the mind is not fully active, not experiencing the external world, it experiences the inner world, internal world. Doesn't gather new experiences. It is just a play of experiences from the past. The buddhi also is not functioning. We're talking about the manas part. The buddhi. That's why crazy things happen in the dream. All those wake up. What was it? What was I thinking? In dream, it's just a play of the mind, the vasanas. It's only the memory faculty, vasana faculty. Chittam, memory becomes active. Not only that, the mind itself creates an objective world. That mind creates everything, sense organs for me. In the dream, there is a dreamer eye. The dreamer has a dream eye. It's not like a dreamy eye. Dreamer's eye is there, dreamer's ear is there, nose, everything. The dream mind will be thinking. All that is happening there. So I create my mental impressions are creating. So I become a fresh subject, a dreamer in the dream. Not only that, I myself become the objects in the dream. So many objects may be there. Mountains may be there, rivers may be there, Mercedes may be there. All these things may be there. But that is all your creation. Your mental impressions have created everything. I myself become the consequences in the dream. I myself become the emotions. You may be feeling strong emotions in the dream. You may ask, aren't there neurological disturbances? All that you can talk about after waking up. And there may be scientific explanations as to how all that happens. But while you are dreaming, it's a solid experience. The subject is solid. Dreamer, strong identification. is what we call Taijasa. Those of you who studied other texts, the consciousness identified with the dreamer is called Taijasa. That is, subject is solid. The objects in it for the dreamer. If you are driving a race car, driver, Formula 1, A1, whatever they call, you are in that, driving at 200 miles an hour, 220 miles, or enjoying that ride. Okay, it's very solid. The experiences are solid. So when you analyze the dream, then you will ask the question, waking may also be like that. Just as in dream, I am becoming all the three, the subject, object, and all the experiences. Waking also. Ahameva idam sarvam. I alone is all this. Good thinking. It's true. From the higher perspective, from the paramarthika drishti, waking state is also like a dream only. True. Now, when you are in the dream, all the dream experiences, if somebody comes, let us say a dream guru comes. In the dream, you are attending this class, and the guru says, you are not all this. You are the waker. You are everything in this. You are not the dreamer. You are not the dream object. All this multiplicity that you see, there is only one, and that is the waker. You won't believe, the dreamer won't believe that. That is what is happening to us. The waker, even though you properly understand, you can extend this. But we find it so hard to think that the entire world is unreal. Therefore, he says, Swapnaha asya vibhak bhavati. Dream becomes a unique state or a distinct state in which the sukshma sharira, the subtle body, is dominant. Asya refers to the sukshma sharira, and that to the mind part. We use the word sukshma sharira, but the jnanendriyas, karmendriyas, panchapranas are not prominent in dream. It's the mind. Only the antakaram. And even that, only the chittam part. The memory, impressions in the memory gets projected. The chittam belongs to sukshma sharira. So we say sukshma sharira is dominant in dream. The dream state is swamatra sheshena vibhati yatra. Is that in which the sukshma sharira, the subtle body, functions by itself, without the aid of the sthula sharira. It's a complete play of sukshma sharira. You don't need any of this physical body. You don't need. Physical body has no play. Whereas in Jagrata Avastha, waking state, the Sukshma Sharira functions, but not prominently. You, of course, need the Sukshma Sharira as well as the Solar Sharira in the waking state. Your mind should be functioning. If you want to hear my talk, the Sukshma Sharira alone is not enough. Through the Sthula Sharira, the Golakas, you require, and you have to hear Sukshma Sharira also. To hear the dream music, you don't need anything. You don't need an ear. You will hear everything. The mind itself produces all that. Listening to you, a lecture like this in the dream, the mind will produce the teacher, the talk, the ears, the hearing, the notebook, if you're writing notes, the pen with which you write, everything the mind will create. Without the aid of Sthula Sharira, without any gross objects, the instruments function in dream. In fact, everything we get in the external world, all those things, the mind is capable of projecting itself. The mind has the capacity to register the waking experiences and store those waking experiences in the form of vasanas. These stored vasanas are like the video file, which can record sound and form and color. The mind records shabda, sparsha, rupa, rasa, gandha. Your video recordings cannot bring back smells. Audio, visual only. But the others, it cannot. But this mind that we have, excellent mind that we have, it's capable of registering, recording all sense objects, shabda, sparsha, rupa, rasa, gandha. And it can replay it in the dream. In dream, if you smell a rose, it's a recorded smell which is activated in the dream. It's possible. Therefore, Bhashyakara says, Swapne tu buddhihi nanavida vasanavihi. You have to take the verb rajate from the next verse. Okay? Right in this verse, the verb is not even there. So these two verses should go together. But we can just borrow that verb rajate from the next verse. Swapne tu buddhi rajate. The mind shines in the dream. It is prominent in the dream. It shines nana vida vasanabihi. Shines in varieties of vasanas, recorded experiences, impressions, mental impressions. And the mind gathered those vasanas jagrat kalina, in the waking time. Some questions come. Some people say, how come I experience certain things in dream which I have not gathered in the waking state? It's quite possible. Question we have seen, we can see three different answers. Sometimes we have gathered experiences we have forgotten, but that have been registered and they get replayed. Sometimes it happens for us also. The same face appears to be familiar, but you don't know where you met that person. What do you say? I have a feeling I've seen you somewhere, but I'm not able to recollect where and when I met you. Therefore, we did experiences, but appears as though we have not experienced. That happens even in the waking state. We just forgot. The second possibility is we might not have had the exact experience. You see an elephant wearing high heels, holding an umbrella in its trunk, and doing a tightrope walk. That experience appears new. But the parts of it, you have seen an elephant, you've been to a circus, you have seen that lady, she's holding an umbrella and wearing high heels and then walking on the tightrope. So you put all that onto that elephant and then you mix things up. This is where I say the intellect is not functioning. You would never see that happen. The third possibility is our dream need not be based on this Janma only. Okay, the impressions, see, the subtle body continues through births, right? Various Janmas. So the mental impressions that we're talking about need not necessarily come from the current birth. Your mind might have registered in prior births. That's quite possible. So all that cumulative experiences recorded can play in the dream. And another person may say, in the dream, I see the future. How can you explain it? I could not have gathered future vasanas. So if I experience something about the future in the dream, how do you explain that? Assume that the person experiences a future event in the dream. Then we say it is not a dream. It is some other state of mind in which the mind, it can have a premonition of future. It's possible. We do have such a capacity. Everyone has certain mental capacities to experience the future. You call it ESP, extrasensory perception, future reading. Mind has such capacity. The mind briefly gathers such experiences, but that's not a general thing. So it does not come under dream at all. Then what state does it belong to? Mandukya calls, you may remember, those of you studied Mandukya with me, prajnaha avastha. It's an intermediary state. Cannot be called waking or dream or sleep. It is a state wherein you're going to glide into sleep or you're just waking up from sleep. Intermediary states. Cannot be called dream because experiences from the past are not being replayed. Cannot be called waking also because you're not experiencing the present very clearly. What state is that? Intermediary state. That is, don't discuss that. General study, the analysis, etc., we study these three states of experiences: waking, dream, and deep sleep. In the waking state, the gross body is prominent. In the dream state, the subtle body, especially the mind, especially the chittam, the memory function. But we do have the ordinary conditions are also there. But we talk about only these three states. Okay, more of it we will see in the next class. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.